넥스트 제네레이션의 이야기 그 두 번째는 북미주 한인 CBMC 남부연합회 플레이노 YG회에서 활동하시며 골든 파이저 앤 파이저, LLP에서 디렉터 오브 비즈니스 디벨롭먼트로 일터 사역하시는 크리스탈 신회계사님의 이야기입니다.
Our next generation story, the second story comes from Crystal Shin, an accountant, director of business development of Goldin Peiser and Peiser.
감사합니다. 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. 뭐 이런 또 환호를. 너무 감사합니다. 제가 오늘 EM 파트라서 제가 영어로 할 텐데 혹시 통역이 필요하시면 통역을 해주신대요. 그래서 빨리 다운핸 하시면 통역을 받으실 수 있습니다. So I just wanted to, from entrepreneur's wife, 사모님, to breadwinner, basically who actually feeds the family, right? So before I start off with my presentation, show of hands, who works for a company? Who works at a company as an employee? Anybody? Okay, several of us. Okay, as a professionals, just like me, I work for a CPA firm. Then, what about owning your own business? Entrepreneurs? So majority here. Very good, okay, awesome. Last, but most important, entrepreneurs, wife or husband? Come on, I know there's more than you. Okay, stand up. Stand up. Please stand up. 우리 사모님들, 우리 사장님을 서포트하시는 스파우스 다 일어나시면 raise your hand like this. Do this. 너무 수고했어. 너무 수고하셨어. 박수. They're the real prayer warrior for the entrepreneurs and the professionals. Today, I wanted to share my story. It's really not my story. It's about Kevin, my husband. Is he here? He was just right here. Kevin? Okay, he's over there actually interpreting. 통역하면서. Kevin, my husband. And me, Crystal. I go by Crystal. So it's really about our story, but really, frankly speaking, it's really not our story, it's his story. I know it's about a lot of how we came here and how we landed, our story and so forth, but if we strip away every single thing from here, the only thing that should be left is his story. And I pray that that will be the way that I glorify him. So let's start off with Kevin's story, and then I'll weave my story into it. Kevin was born and raised in a Christian family. He was, for the longest time, he was a churchgoer. 그냥 예배만 드리고 싹 나가는 그런 churchgoer. In early 2000, right after college, he started a company called C&J Investment. So that company had different kind of brands. It was all related to like frozen desserts, like frozen yogurt or gelatos, Italian ice creams. So they developed different brands with a couple of his friends. It became really successful. I mean, young folks, a lot of excitement. The entrepreneurship was going in the right path for many years, and then he was in an upstream. He was about to get a funding from private equity. He got recognized as a Hot Retail Awards from a big national organization. So they were in the upright position. And then comes 2008. In July 2008, hot summer. I was there too. We had a Semian church. We both go to Semian church. And I was very involved in the young adult group. And like I said, he was a churchgoer. For whatever reason, that hot summer day, he managed to come to the 수련회. We're like, why is he here? Like, 교회만 왔다 갔다 하는데 왜 온 거야? 불편하게. So he came. I don't know why. But later I heard that God just led him. God just forced him to come to that place. So because I was very involved and he showed up, I'm like, don't worry. He'll leave pretty soon. 금방 갈 거야. Don't worry about it. 그런데 안 가는 거예요. 끝날 때까지 안 가는 거야. 이제 기도회가 시작됐어요. And we were praying hard, and I hear somebody from behind me like screaming, like screaming so hard and repenting. And it was just, I could feel the Holy Spirit in him. And I was like, wow, this guy is meeting God, like true becoming a Christian right there. I thought it was actually one of my good buddies that I know. I didn't know it was Kevin behind me screaming, but later on I knew that it was Kevin. So on that day, he met Jesus Christ and he became a true Christian. True Christian. No more church going. He was a true Christian, and that was 2008. And in 2009, a miracle happens. This wonderful lady called Crystal comes into his life. No, I'm just kidding. No, actually what happened, so we went to the same church, so we know of each other for a while. I thought he was very arrogant, very hard-headed. I had very negative connotation for him. But anyways, he one day when he looked at me, he always thought, oh my, look at her gum. So when I smile, I know my gum shows a lot. So he's like, oh, I'm so sorry for her. Her gum shows too much. That was never a hang-up for me. 컴플렉스가 전혀 아니었어, 저한테는. 활짝 웃는 게 저의 매력이라 생각했어. 근데 later he told me because after he met Jesus Christ, he was kind of curious, like, why is she always so smiling? Why is she always joyful? What is it in her that is always making her joyful? And through that, after he met Christ, he knew exactly what was going on. He knew that I had Jesus Christ in my heart that made me smile even though my gum shows a lot. It was fine. So in 2009, we got married. So that's part of Kevin's story. My story, so I was born and raised in a Christian family too. My mom was a real strong Christian woman. My dad, not so much. My dad and my mom had a really bad relationship. It started so he had an entrepreneur. He started an entrepreneur with his friend. The friend fled to Europe somewhere with all his savings account and all the money that we had. So my dad felt really embarrassed. He used to work for Korean Airlines. He was on a right path. He was at the executive level, and then one day he lost everything. So he said, oh, I'm so embarrassed. We got to go to Saipan. So we flew to Saipan. I was just forced to it. So that's where I learned English. So I lived there for 6 years. But during that time, my mom and dad, without kidding, I think they fought almost every single day. Like, pretty bad, like abusive. Like, they fought a lot. So within my heart, when I was young, like I was I was around 10 years old or something, I had so much hurt inside me that I always felt like one day, I will take my life away. I'll just do it myself. So that was me when I was young. And when I was in 6th grade, I actually went to Korea, like from Saipan, on a mission trip to Korea. I know it's weird. I was like doing Polynesian dance like the Saipan folks do for Korean people to minister. So I was part of that group, and somehow God just met me right there. He knew that I needed him. If not, he might lose me. So God made me strong when I was 6th grade. So that's when I became a true Christian. And then all throughout the time, like ever since I was 12 or so, my mom raised me and my brother like a single mom. So we were pretty poor. We really didn't have much to brag about or anything, but we were happy. We were happy. My mom did a really great job. She was a woman of prayer. So she taught us how to become a true Christian, and regardless of what the situation is, she taught us that. So that was my early days. And then in 2003, I got a scholarship to study abroad in the United States for a year. So I came here, I flew here. My mom told me, you have to go to business school so that you could meet a business guy. That's how I started in business. 우리 엄마가 그렇게 말씀하시는 거야. 너 진짜 잘 나가는 비즈니스맨 만나려면 비즈니스 스쿨 가라. 그래서 제가 비즈니스 스쿨 간 거거든요. So that's how it started. But God had a plan for me. It wasn't about my plan. It was his plan. And I knew that he was in control. So in 2003, that's when I came to United States, started studying. I got a job right after college. I started working for a big accounting firm. And my life was great. You know, as an immigrant, you know, first generation coming in, I got my degree. I started working for a global firm. Amazing. I was on the right track. And even better, in 2009, what happened? Yes, I met Kevin, so I got married. So it was even better, right? So that was our first part of our story here. Could we read this together? It's Proverbs 16:9. Let's read it in one voice. Ready? Go. The heart of man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps. Amen. So Kevin's plan or dream, he was very particular about his dream. He wanted to become a president. I'm not talking a president of the company. I'm talking like president of South Korea. I think he might have wanted to become a U.S. president, but because he wasn't born here, he couldn't be. So anyway, he wanted to be a Mr. President. That was his dream. That's what he was shooting for. He became a successful entrepreneur. Probably he wanted to earn some more money, get very popular, rubbing some shoulders with the real politician, and then maybe at some point get into the politics. That was his dream. My plan, I don't know, I'm a little different from Kevin, so I don't really plan out stuff. I'm not in 5 years I'm gonna do this, 10 years. I'm just really not. But my thought was that maybe I become 사모님, and then on the side, maybe I have my own company and do maybe half being a really good mom and half being owning my own company as a hobby on the side, but live a nice life. That was my plan. But like you've read here, really, it wasn't anything about God. It was all about me. What would be good for me? What do I like? What do I want to do? So after Kevin truly became a Christian, which was in 2008, does anybody remember what happened in 2008 other than Kevin becoming a true Christian? What happened? It was recession. So the subprime mortgage burst. It happened in 2008, right? So that plus Kevin becoming a true Christian was enough to take everything away. Everything that he built for 10 years with his friends, like 40 plus location, they have franchises, licensing going on, international locations, everything was just crumbling down. So, isn't it supposed to be the other way when you become a Christian, right? When you're really trying to live by the words, isn't it supposed to be like this way, not this way? I don't know. But it was God's plan. For me, at that point, I knew that, okay, I wanted to be 사모님, but now it's like tanking down. IRS is calling us or email, like sending us letter every single day, like to figure out like where's your back taxes? You owe this and that. So I'm like, wow, this is not something that I planned for. But you know what? What's amazing is that I was trained for this. I'll talk about this in detail later on, but I was trained for this. God trained me throughout the years, ever since I was young, to go through these hardships so that I could be prepared, so that whenever I meet Kevin and then there's this, somebody could step up and really make it happen, right? So, like my title says, from entrepreneur's wife, 사모님, to become a breadwinner. So I basically feed the family nowadays, which is a great blessing. We're not on the streets, right? But what's amazing is that throughout that 10-year period or so, I would say the happiest time that we spent together was actually on the sleeping bag. So we didn't have a bed for many, many years. We actually slept on a sleeping bag, but it was just happy. We were just so happy. We didn't have much money for 목장 모임. So we would buy some like bananas and cheap pizza and people won't show up and we would cry like it's because our food is so, like not so right. But anyways, God has blessed us throughout the time. It doesn't matter what our plans are. It's about what His plans are. And I believe you agree on that. So this is my nuggets that I wanted to share with you. It's not about me, right? Don't ask God, like, why me? It's not about why me. But say, instead, try me, Lord. I am ready for this. I am ready for this challenge. So it's not why me, but try me. So that was my first nugget. The second one that I wanted to share with you, before we had played this video clip, did anybody see the movie 300? 300 보신 분? 영화. 옛날 영화인데 300 보신 분? Oh, okay. So a lot. I haven't seen it. I haven't watched it. But Pastor Lee, who was here yesterday, actually showed this movie clip last Sunday. That was the first time I actually saw it. So just to give you a little background, what it is that these two armies kind of come together. They're not fighting against each other. They're trying to join forces. But they look at the other army and say, you guys are small. Like, is this it? And the other asks this very meaningful questions to the other army. And see the comparison of how they respond to that same question versus the other. Let's watch the clip real quick. Do I have to click on it?
We march for our lands, for our families, for our freedoms. We march.
Daxos. What a pleasant surprise.
This morning's full of surprises, Leonidas.
We've been tricked. There'll be more than a few hundred. This is a surprise.
Silence!
This isn't an army.
We heard Sparta was on the warpath. We were eager to join forces.
If it is blood you seek, you're welcome to join us.
But you bring only this handful of soldiers against Xerxes? I see I was wrong to expect Sparta's commitment to at least match our own.
Doesn't it? You, there. What is your profession?
I'm a potter. So,
And you, Arcadian. What is your profession?
sculptor, sir.
You?
Blacksmith.
Spartans! What is your profession? You see, old friend, I brought more soldiers than you did.
So, if somebody asks you, what is your profession? What would you say? Would you say, oh, I own a donut shop? Or, oh, I have a import and export company that's pretty big, like 20 mil. What are you going to say if somebody asks you, what is your profession? So I shared this picture with you. So I personally don't work out. My kiddos are my workout, so I really don't work out. But for 2 years in a row, I actually joined this race called Spartan Race. It's an obstacle course. 장애물들이 막 이렇게 많으면 막 거기를 막 타고 올라가고 막 이렇게 하는 거예요. So this was my second year. But actually what happened in my first year, so I was gearing up and then getting ready for it. I'm a little nervous. I had my teams all crew like together. And the MC asked us, what is your profession? I didn't see the movie 300. So you know what I did? What is your profession? I said, CPA. And the others were like, oh. I was like, what is that? But anyway, after I saw the clip, I was like, oh my, this is so embarrassing. But I didn't know that. But you know, this got me thinking as far as, okay, what is my profession? Is my profession really CPA? Is that my identity? Is that my profession? What are we supposed to be? What are we? I really think that we should be God's Spartans. We should be the ones who's always, every day, fighting on the battlefield against the other parties, against the dirt, against the darkness. We have to be the light and salt, fighting every single day in the marketplace. That's what we're called for. Could we read this all together? Ready? Go. And pray in the Spirit on all occasions with all kinds of prayers and requests. With this in mind, be alert and always keep on praying for all the Lord's people. So there is a really important one. Obviously, I highlighted it. Be alert and always pray. So I talked to you about how our Kevin and I, since got married, how our business went away, just went away, or even actually went down the ground or something. We're still trying to deal with it, but during that time, I was trying to think where did this inner strength in me come out from? Where is this, joy coming out? I was full of joy. I think a lot of the people, friends here could attest to it. I was, throughout that time, financially, we were so difficult, to be honest. It was hard. It was hard, but I was never down. I was always joyful. And I was trying to think, what was my secret sauce? What is my secret sauce? And I think I kind of figured it out. So I talked to you earlier about my mom being a single mom and raising us. We always had some financial difficulty, as you could think of. But every summer, what my mom did, so summer break comes, every summer break, what we would do, she would bring us to 기도원. I hated it. So it was like our 바캉스 to 기도원. I hated it. I absolutely hated it. And I always wonder, why couldn't we just go to regular 바캉스? 여름 바캉스, 이런 좋은 해변가, 아니면 그냥 어디라도 그냥 가면 안 되나? 왜 맨날 기도원 가고 맨날 질질 짜고 왜 그래야 돼? So as my head was getting bigger, I always Mom, let's go somewhere else. Why are we always going there? Regardless, she dragged us there. So every single year, even summer and winter, anytime she had time, she would bring us to 기도원. Now I think she was really smart. So one thing that I noticed at 기도원, the meals are so cheap. It is ridiculously cheap. If you pay $1 or $2, you get a really nice meal in 식판. So I think she was really smart in that, right? Either $1 or $2, right? Or the best part is she made us fast. So 금식하는 거예요. 더 싸. 돈 하나도 안 들어. So I fasted a lot. I prayed a lot. Obviously, at 기도원, there's not much things to do. I didn't have a cell phone or anything, so the only thing that I could do is pray. But that became my foundation to really, even going through all this ups and downs, the entrepreneur roller coaster that I'm with Kevin, I was just so joyful because I knew that God was in control. I know there are up and down, but it's a roller coaster. It is supposed to be up and down, but might as well enjoy it. But the way you enjoy it is through prayers. You have to be the God Spartan. You have to be ready with prayers. So whenever the other army comes, whenever the enemy comes, you could just get your weapon, get your prayers out, and just kneel down and pray. That's what we need to be. So my nugget number 2 is, what is your profession? So I was sleeping one night, and then God woke me. I think it was really God waking me up. And basically, I was thinking about the presentation, and I guess I was getting a little nervous. And I was thinking about this phrase, what is your profession? And I think I got an answer to this. So if somebody comes to you and say, what is your profession? What are you going to say? I know. Ooh, no. As a Christian, we should do this. Amen, amen, amen. How's that? Could we do this all together? I will ask you the question, and let's do it in one voice. What is your profession? Somebody did it 4 times, I think. 4번 약간 엇박자로 하시는 것 같은데 다시 한번 하실 텐데 제가 주일학교를 12년 했거든요. 그래서 아이들을 착 모아갖고 이거 하는 거 되게 잘해요. 여기는 다 어르신들이지만 제가 괜찮으시다면 다들 일어나셔서 잠시만 몸이 안 불편하시다면 잠시 일어나셔서 제가 What is your profession 하면 여기 아래서 힘껏 모든 걸 끌어내서 정말 내가 하나님의 용사다라는 걸 한번 고백했으면 좋겠어요. 다 같이 한번 해볼게요. What is your profession? 아멘, 아멘, 아멘. Wow, there's a warrior there. 감사합니다. Thank you so much. You may be seated. Thank you so much. I know, like amongst the Koreans, you're not supposed to like ask people to stand up and all that. I understand, but thank you so much. So here comes my third nugget. I want to ask you this question. Do you have that friend? That friend? When you're going through all these struggles, when you're dealing with IRS, when you're dealing with all the madness, I don't know, divorce or disease. I know in earlier sessions, somebody was talking about Tina, and that was such a heartwarming story. But do you have that friend? Do you have a friend that you could lean on to and say, hey, I'm just really broke here. I don't know where to start. Could you pray for me? Do you have that friend? Kevin and I were so grateful. So we got married in 2009 of September. And in the following year, January 2010, this was us. So 4 families got together. And this eventually became the Plano Y CBMC chapter. So there's still 3 out of 4 couples are here actually. So there's Kim family, Sun family, and then Hyun family who went to Korea, and then us, Kevin and I. It has been an amazing journey, a lot more than we could ask for. They've seen it all. They've seen us through the roller coaster and all that. They were there for us. They were prayer warriors for us. And this was one of the concepts that Kevin had. So we kind of visited all together and went to Orange Cup and grab a yogurt. This was when I was still with Deloitte. We had a walk, so I invited my friends. Hey, let's walk together. So this was before when we started having kids and all that. So everyone, had a fun time there. One time, 경남 언니 invited us to make mandu. It was so much work. Now, that was the first and the last time we made mandu. 다음부터 그냥 언니 사, 그냥 돈 좀 써서 사자, 같이 사자, 막 이렇게. 변했지만 너무 재밌었어요. 숙주도 막 이렇게 찌그러들고 재밌었어요. So we did a lot of things together. This is the most recent picture that we took. So you could see that now the kids are there, how we have more families here, and but it's just been a joyful ride with our friends. And I am so grateful that I have that friend who I could lean on if I am just all broken down. I'm just like all into pieces. Somebody could come up and say, hey, you're broken. Let me gather you up and then let's pray together. Do you have that, warriors? I'll challenge you. Let's read this all together. Ecclesiastes 4:10. For if they fall, one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him who is alone when he falls and has not another to lift him up. So one of the things that I realized is that within CBMC, I think it's a great place for you to find that friend, right? Maybe a lot of you already have that friend who you could lean on, who's the prayer warriors for you, who's praying on behalf of you every single day. So if that is the case, I challenge you. If you have that friend, be that friend. Be that kind of friend to the others. So here's a quick recap. Not why me, but try me. Whenever things go south, it's not about me, it's about him, and he has control. Secondly, what is your profession? Amen, amen, amen. And then the third, but not least, find that friend. If you already have that friend, be that friend to others. Thank you so much. 감사합니다.